Welcome back to the kickoff, and I'm only making this video because I've had so many Man United fans tweeting me, messaging me. Oh, where's the same energy for Pochettino? Oh, right, man. We'll get to it. There's not a vendetta against your club. Other clubs have shite managers. We'll talk about them. Stop your whinging. So, Chelsea. Not very good, is it? It's not very good at the minute. I've always admired the way Chelsea play football because they've always won things. Obviously, they played some good football. Sometimes they were a bit too defensive. But mostly, they were always competitive. They were always a bunch of absolute bastards to play against. That Chelsea side now, it's unrecognisable. I'm watching them thinking, yeah, you'd want to play against them every week, wouldn't you? Where's the identity? And after watching Chelsea be carried by so many characters within that dressing room over the last couple of decades, there's just none left aside from Cole Palmer. Even as a Newcastle fan, I remember watching Chelsea batter Arsenal in Arsene Wenger's 1000th game in charge, realising how humiliating it was, how Arsenal, who were the biggest club in London, the best club in London in terms of achieving, highest positions in the league, winning titles, the baton had been passed. It was official. Chelsea are the London club now. And do you know what happened last night? They gave it back. Arsenal now are the London club. And it was given back in pathetic style. It wasn't even given with a fight. It was we don't want this. We don't want the pressure. We're pussies. Yeah, we don't want it. It was truly pathetic. By the way, Josh and Joey are watching this. I'm sorry. I got to do this, mate. I'm sorry. Awkward. Friendship has to go out the window. And you know what? I did kind of say that this could happen. I just didn't really think it would be this bad. Let me take you back in time. In previous Chelsea teams gone by, they've had a lot more established stars as well to then bring in the youngsters, and it was more balanced, and therefore those established stars could help elevate those guys and bring them on and carry them, which is very important, which has not been thought of at all in my opinion in this Chelsea team. And another problem is, how can you track progress when you change everything in one go? Like a scientific experiment, you want to kind of go, okay, we're going to change this one thing, keep everything else the same, and then if that has a positive influence, we know that that's what it was. I can't sit here and go, Pochettino's having a terrible time of it, because I don't know if the players are the problem. Everything's changed in one go. That is literally, if you watch a lot of people right now talking about Chelsea and the players and not knowing who to blame, that is exactly the problem that they're having. They're like, how do we really know if Pochettino is the problem here? Because all of the players could be shite as well. We don't know. We've changed everything at once. That is exactly what's happened. 7th of September, by the way, that went out. Just saying. It's not only Man United problems I called. For someone who doesn't know football, I do seem to get it right every now and then. It's funny that. Okay, do we want the best young players in the world? Yeah, we'll get as many, but we also need reliable grinders who are going to put the work in and not be bullied as young kids are. Now, like I was saying, Chelsea did hand over power of London back over to Arsenal, but it wasn't with a fight. 27 shots to 7. That's what I would expect when Man City plays Sheffield United. So it's not just that there's a gap now between Arsenal and Chelsea, it's that there's a huge gap, massive. And when you look at how much money Chelsea have spent, there shouldn't be. And obviously we all know they've spent badly, but they haven't just spent badly, it feels like they've spent horrifically. And the reason that's a problem, which we talked about a lot at the start of the season, was that you've gambled so much to the point where Bowley had to sell a hotel, I think, that belonged to Chelsea Football Club to him to put money back into the club, which can't be legal, but it is, just so that they could stay within the FFP rules. So they have completely gambled. There's not really room to just refresh the squad again. You can't do that, which is why you're looking at the manager thinking, well, you're the only thing we can really change dramatically here. But before I move on from Bowley, I have to say, we knew he would change Chelsea Football Club. We knew it would be a different version of Chelsea. What we didn't really understand was how bad it would go to a point where they would be unrecognisable. This is not Chelsea anymore to me. Chelsea fans need to know that other football fans, we're looking at your club, and the fear factor that we used to have, it's dead. Much like Manchester United's fear factor is dead. It's gone. And once you lose that identity that puts fear into the opposing players and fans pre-game, it might never come back. That's how bad this is getting now. Poch said before the game, this is an opportunity for those players to show that we aren't just Cole Palmer FC. The fact that he's even acknowledging that they're a one-player team is hardly instilling confidence into the players, but he put it on them, and this is how they respond. Now, it's up to him to know what to say to get the best reaction out of them, and I'm not saying that everything that was said pre-game dictates what happens in the game, but you look fucking stupid. This is the chance to show we're not Cole Palmer FC? 5-0, mate. Well, there's the answer then. Now you look like that you are a one-player team because you've literally given them that chance, and that's what's come back. The whole fucking club looks stupid. And I always thought Poch was a decent manager, but this job is ruining that reputation in full, because the idea is that, yeah, he might not be a title-winning manager, but he's good at taking young players and growing them, improving them. No one's fucking improving, aside from Cole Palmer, but this is our first full season seeing him, so he could have done this at any other fucking club, realistically. And the way Chelsea consistently get worse in the second half, it's mind-blowing. And how Poch religiously reacts too late to stop the negative changes in the game happening. It's not looking good in the first half. You leave it the same way in the second half. It gets worse. You only react at 65 minutes. By then, you're 4-0 down. Shocking, that, like. If I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm going ballistic at that. Now, I've seen this on Twitter. It's Pochettino's stats versus Tuchel's stats. After 45 games in charge, Mauricio Pochettino has lost 19 games. By comparison, Tuchel, after 100 games in charge, had lost 16. He played more than double, and he'd still had less losses. And I know Tuchel is a fucking toxic manager, but bloody hell, that is staggering. So to say, could anyone really do better than Poch? I mean, yeah, absolutely. I know there's been transfers since then. I don't care, honestly. Someone's got to do better than this. This is bad. And there is talent here. One of the saddest things about this game, when you get beat 5-0 and your keeper's played well, that says a lot. And another clear mistake from Poch is you have two decent defensive displays against Everton and Man City, conceding only one goal in those two games, which, given that one of those teams as Man City, is decent. You then take Chalobah and Silva, who are the defensive partnership for those two games, out of the side and put in Disasi and Badiashile for a game away at Arsenal, when you're showing some consistency here. And Badiashile and Disasi are a fucking shambles in that game. Now, people might say, oh, well, they were rested. Rested? You're chasing top 6, mate. Silva's fucking retiring at the end of the season, isn't he? What are you resting him for? He's only got a few games left of his whole career. Play him. You worried about his legs? Fuck me. You're chasing top 6, and you actually, due to the constant fumbling and stumbling of West Ham, Man United and Newcastle, you've actually got a chance here. Resting him. Enzo and Gallagher look out of their depth at times, and especially in this game. I think Caicedo actually is quite efficient, but he's just surrounded by shit that he doesn't get any credit, because everything he's doing is amounting to nothing because the players around him are fucking it up. He's there to recover the ball. He does that. It's what happens when the other lads get it that seems to fucking go wrong. Gallagher, yes, he's got some quality about him, but often I watch him, I'm thinking you're like a good version of Sean Longstaff. There's a lot of running around, but not enough end product. And to be fair, Enzo is apparently carrying a knock, okay, but he's on the pitch, and like I've got to judge what I'm saying, and it's fucking miles away from what we thought it would be by now. Mudryk and Madueke on the wings, alright, they run around, but they're technically nowhere near good enough. Maybe with better coaching, we might see more out of them. I mean, you've spent enough, you've got to hope someone can coach something out of them, but right now, it's not happening. Again, from the manager who's supposed to be good at bringing on young players. Jackson, I mean, his stats aren't even that bad, but when you watch him in front of goal, it's genuinely fucking painful. There's that one shot that he had where he goes through on goal. I'm genuinely watching thinking, I could have been a Premier League footballer. I can put chances away better than him. That's not a joke. And I bet you a lot of Chelsea fans in that stadium could. Yes, he's athletically quick. If you can't do anything in front of goal when you're getting all these chances, what the fuck's the point? And I get he's probably not a striker. He's probably more of like a Rashford player playing out on the left, cutting in. That's probably a better position for him. They need a quality striker to start finishing some of these chances, but still, his finishing is not that of a professional footballer. Even like championship level. It's embarrassing. Apparently the Arsenal fans in the ground, when Jackson would get the ball, were shouting, shoot, shoot. It's genuinely like, when the opposition fans are shouting shoot, when you're in front of goal, that's comedy bad. They're just lacking players that can, even during bad performances, stand up, have a moment of brilliance, have a moment of magic, and just carry the team through those bad games even. Man United are going to finish above Chelsea, not because they're particularly better than them, but they've just got a bit of that about them. Players that in a bad game, through the countless bad games Man United have, will just stick it in the net, Bruno Fernandes style. Just pop up with 5 seconds of class. Where is that outside of Cole Palmer? Because for the amount of money Chelsea have spent, it's amazing that there's not more of that in the team. And for all the idea was we're going to buy Europe's best young talent, a lot of that's right under their fucking nose. And they continue to sell their academy players to get money in for FFP and then go out and buy worse players for bigger money. Make it make sense. And I think what really rubbed salt in the wounds is that of all people, Kai Havertz, a player who Chelsea fans were almost celebrating to get rid of, returns to haunt them with a brace against them. And Arsenal didn't even have a good game. He didn't even have a good game. That's how bad this was. They humiliated Chelsea without getting out of second gear. And Kai Havertz was made to look like fucking prime R9 Ronaldo here. And the future of Chelsea is now getting scary now. Chelsea fans, you should be scared. You should be in panic mode now. Josh and Joy on the show, they like to try and be rational, be calm, and not want to be too knee-jerk, because as fans, we're often too knee-jerk, right? Now's the time to get knee-jerk. Now's the time to be panicking. Now's the time to worry. Let me tell you why. Someone with experience of this. When your football club becomes irrelevant in the Premier League, it's almost a setting that you can't switch off. It's very hard to unirrelevant yourself. Players stop wanting to join because you know that the club is going nowhere. Managers don't want to touch the club because it's almost like a poison chalice. You don't want to become associated with the nightmare that is that club. Fans stop believing. Players stop remembering what it is to achieve anything. And the more of these big defeats that you get, the more beatable you could become. It's like you've got an illness as a club, a disease that is slowly but surely killing the club. That is what happens when you become irrelevant. And the best hope you've got of stopping that is to turn it around as quick as possible, because the longer that happens to the club, the longer it stays, the harder it is to go back to where you were. And that's why I'm saying Chelsea fans should be panicking, because the quicker you act, the quicker you can do something about this. The longer it takes and the longer this rot sets in, the harder it is to turn it around. Take it from someone who spent 20 years not enjoying watching his club play football. Act quick. They need a few big players and a new manager immediately, or this will become the norm. So in case I haven't made it clear, yes, I'm Pochettino out, and I think everyone else should be as well at this point. That is a sackable offence for any Chelsea manager. But am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Kickoff YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.